Hello and welcome, or welcome back to everybody. My name's Dina. We're going to go ahead and do a reading that's intended to be specifically for the election. The daily Dharma today was dedicated a little bit more to the 1111 portal. And what I want to do now is start with some astrology cards because I believe that we're going to start seeing some cosmic evidence of the winds shifting in real time here as soon as the Taurus full moon. And then I have two new decks that debuted in the Daily Dharma, the 1111 Portal one. So let's go ahead and start with what are the forces that we're looking out for right now. We have several coming out. We start with series nurture number 29. The mother whose daughter was actually kidnapped by the devil, the underworld, Pluto. Aquarius, collaborate. Progress, collaboration, the new times coming forward. Moon, perception. Oh, and Aquarius is 11 for the 1111 portal, and Moon is 19 in this deck. Perception. In 6th house, sustainability. Now we have this great alignment and rebalancing of this individual. Underneath the deck, we have Pisces. Sensitize. Hope you guys appreciate my little banner. I'm just going to keep wearing this until we get some information on what's going on. Many psychics are following that. The storyline, let's see. I think the feminine is working together to push through perceptions of something to gain some type of rebalancing, a justice, a discussion here in a very gentle, quiet way in some regards here. Now we have Imam Coli root with this tree of life energy, something very foundational. And these ones that just popped out, we now have Virgo, the need to integrate and digest something. 12th house, introspection, the opposite of the 6th house. I don't know if some of you have a something like, I want to say Scorpio Taurus axis between your ascendant and descendant, or potentially Virgo Pisces, which came out, or Aquarius Leo. I know that that's 3 possibilities there. Well, technically 6 if we invert them. But there's some type of alignment between the inner and the outer, because the 6th is about service in the way that we come out and support and collaborate together. But we also have, and the 6th house is ruled by Virgo too, and possibly even co-ruled by Ceres, the nurturer. There's something very much here about the way that we connect the dots and how we're able to understand what is going on. So what do we have here? We have solar flares activate. Absolutely. This is such a crazy time in solar weather. 1st house, arrival. Yes, coming right below 6th house. I find that interesting. So we are talking about some type of ascendant, descendant, like even talking about how Trump is somewhat trying to push and fast forward his ascent. But I think that just like my predictive tarot readings prior to the election, a month or so prior, I was calling for a hollow victory for Trump, that he won perhaps one battle but would lose the war. And his kept coming out with some underworldly, shamanic, old soul type manipulation and unclarity with the perceptions of the moon, but that the Kamala side kept coming forward with the chariot and making momentum and movement. And that's the true ascent. That is the true victory. So now we have Pallas Athena. Think she's the brainchild of Zeus, coming below Ceres and Virgo. The need to really pull out some receipts and do the moral and the literal accounting for what you do and do not believe to be true. Underneath Aquarius in 12th house of introspection and collaboration, we have Libra and the karmic justice and rebalancing and the weights and measures of information coming through. And in the 12th house, it hasn't yet been made public in this column, but forces are working together for the progressive future. And then we have under moon and solar flares, we have the 10th house of authority, the ascension process, the perception of an activation of an ascent to something here. Or this is again that apparent win being touted in our faces here, but in all actuality, the more information that we're able to see, the more obvious it is that this is a power grab by the minority and by foreign interests. And under sixth house and first house, we have Cancer, immerse. I think that people are going to become saturated with information very soon, and it's going to be interesting to see how we come through this and what we're going to see. I think we're going to have our hair blown back. I am also feeling that Melania is a wild card, and we see that Russia on day one comes back and puts out some compromising photos of Melania, which, you know, I've got my own beliefs about, but if that's the way she rolls, that's the way she rolls. And for him to come out and essentially be like, yeah, your woman is my bitch, is a very important clue to who's in charge here. Make no mistake. 36, Manifesta. Ceres did not go quietly and allow her daughter to be taken, but she did actually compromise. And I think that in this case, it will be incredible if there is any type of compromising with this devilish energy. But I think that the only compromise is to become highly aware that it's still operating in the underbelly and in the shadows of some people's hearts and minds. And that we really need to become very empowered, passionate, and grounded and aware of how we are agents of the consciousness evolution and the manifestation of love in our lives. Underneath the deck, we do have transformation again. That one was coming out in the previous reading. I want to just go ahead and give these a nice good shuffle because it is the new deck. You guys will have to let me know if you like the new decks. I could have bought probably 10 different decks there. This is the Beyond Lemuria deck by Izzy Ivy. You can find all my decks down below. I'm going to try to hurry this up. I want to get to my truth-telling decks. So I think the feminine contention of the world and the feminine aspect within all hearts and souls that are consciously attuned and aware and accountable are manifesting some change and shift and awareness and demanding that. We have our ancient future. Beautiful. Number 39. So then we have alignment in Mount Shasta. This is gorgeous. On the 1111 portal, particularly. Our ancient future, I see several things. Look at this individual. You'll have to tune into the Daily Dharma today for the 1111 portal. We were talking quite a bit about the pressure that's necessary and the way that we need to be forced almost through the pressure and the demands to do something. This pressure is applied to help us purge karmic interference patterns with the future. So our ancient future is rooted in the past because, as the infinity symbol reminds us, we are either destined to repeat our past or to grow upon that distant past. We are forever entangled with that. And I believe, as many do, that there truly is no time and space. And so, if we truly believe that the forces of good are always winning, then we can also take evidence from the past that the good eventually wins. And it is the dedication and determination and the perseverance of those that will not be silenced, that will not be complicit or so on in their own disenfranchisement, that actually manifests the future. It is those people that did not sit on the back of the bus and that did not raise their fists that sometimes were the most powerful fighters for peace. So we have this incredible upgrade going on within ourselves at the same time. And then this divine alignment that is only made possible, I feel, through challenging the winners to win in an appropriate way. And I think that that's why we are shown injustice before we're shown the truth. I think that had it been reversed, then the people on the other side would still claim that the other side were the ones doing it. And there will be some that will continue. But here we have number 37, Mount Shasta. Not only does the earth itself, okay, let's even go further. Not only does the body itself have these massive meridians and energetic superhighways and chakra systems and ley lines transferring knowledge, both energetically and emotionally, and so much more than that. But these lines are kind of charged and activated, particularly by Akashic heritage, by ancestral wisdom, appearing as kernels of truth. And we are also, with every prayer, with every interconnection that we create and manifest, we are building upon the evidence and honoring our ancestors that fought for things. They fight with us now. Just because we don't see their faces does not mean that they are not interwoven within this moment, powerfully coming with us. And on a silly note, the Mary Poppins movie, it could be seen many ways, but many children's movies are actually created with some tongue-in-cheek things that really show us. Like, for instance, Mr. Banks is sitting here like, yeah, it's time for my slippers and my sherry. Where's my kids? Where's my wife? Sitting on his throne, while the woman is busy hiding the fact that she's actually a suffragette. Oh, let's everybody hide. All the women are in charge of everything. And he goes to his job and then he gets ousted. his own cohort turns their back on him, and in the end he's the one who has this grinchy heart expansion moment. So trust that the Tao, it says something that though the meshes are wide, not a thing slips through its grasp. Underneath 15, fire, Solaris sublime. Look at that powerful Kundalini activating moment. Some people are still shaming themselves and feeling a certain way about their emotions, their reactivity. But every time that I have an emotional upheaval, I recognize the extreme sacred power that those energetic vibrations have. And no matter if it seems destructive to some or not, if I'm going to cry and if I'm going to scream, I might lament something that seems, but I will call it a perception as what it is. And I will say, no, my soul does not commit to this path or this timeline, and I refuse its presentation to myself. Now, some would say that that's resisting the flow and the momentum, which, you know, I think that you have to know how you're invoking the word in that way. I'm not saying I'm just going to deny it and do nothing. I'm actually activating my power to change it, to use my voice to say that the obvious things are enough to disqualify the truth you wish me to swallow. So therefore, no. End of story. So I think that Mount Shasta comes to tell us to believe and to invoke the power of divine interference, to invoke the support of Mother Earth, to invoke the support of celestial essence, to conjure the ancients and the future generations, 7 generations before and after, and all within this kernels of my soul resonance and entanglement. I activate and conjure these energies to come forward and to speak on the behalf of the soul, right? And that's what this fire is. It's the Kundalini rising. And so even if I am crying or whatever, I mean, I'm not probably going to say all those words. I'm going to feel it though. Sometimes the words create a misalignment. It's not about the words. It's about the force of the fire of the dragonfly energy rising up within that gives that sacred impetus to your passions. So when your passion becomes your sacred destiny and calls itself forward from your energy, you are birthing the future. So now we've got 2 together, the Star Seeker and the Crown Chakra. The Crown Chakra Unlimited Self came out in the Daily Dharma today, but it's looking a little bit different in this moment. Now I'm seeing it not as the head chakra, but as in this sacred flame, like somebody is holding something in their hands. Oh, and then I just noticed that this is actually a depiction of a woman holding a ladder in a hand up to the cosmos, to the star. There's some kind of divine interference, absolutely. But we're oh, and she's almost, in this moment, I feel like she looks like she's crying, which to me conflicts with some of what I feel like I know about cosmic intervention. I feel like the emotional capacity is something more related to the human dimension and not the cosmic dimensions. But I do feel that God essence and archetype in general does have energy of how do I again, the words aren't quite correct in this context, but it feels like good bad judgment, and I don't believe in a judgmental creator, but I believe that there's a reason why this is a cause and effect environment here of karma and dharma. We've been witnessing this throughout ancient history, that karma does come, and I've been calling it Karmala's coming. And this isn't because I'm like, yeah, girl power. That isn't what's happening here. So anybody who wants to pose that, good luck. Something's being lifted up, some elevated perspective, some cosmic perspective is being downloaded into the crown chakra here. So we were talking about how this is actually related to the election, were we not? And where are my specific decks? So here we go. I want to just real quick see what we get here. And then maybe we'll bring out Medicine Heart for the end. So what is this election kind of showing us here? We've got a lot of gloomy thoughts coming in. Just be real careful not to fall into your apathy. Here we have these masked individuals around this rose bush. Somebody's kind of coming and being like, ah, good day. And it's like the break in the clouds. Here we have good lady. I think that similar to what I'm doing here, somebody is coming forward and saying, you know, what do you think? And somebody is going to be pulled out of their fearful thoughts by somebody else bringing in some information. Let's see. I'm regretting putting these two decks together because the two cards are not the same size. I want to see what we can expect here. We have the marriage card. I keep thinking that Melania is going to do something. She did unexpectedly come forward saying that she believes in pro-choice, her body, her choice. And, you know, she's batted his hand away. She's kind of gone when he wasn't looking, right in camera. This isn't accidental. She's not as stupid as the men would pretend that she is. And even myself, I wondered how stupid she must be to be with him. However, I think that his constant demeaningness of her, like she may have shown that she was going to support this or something because she had to, but we don't know how she voted. And I feel like she is being insulted. She doesn't care that her body's on display. She put it on display herself. She cares that she's being used as a tool to oppress her sisterhood and her personal respect. Yeah, I think we're going to be surprised here. So we have short illness and rich good gentleman coming out together. The short illness to me looks like the debilitation of the Harris campaign, and this rich good gentleman is sitting here playing chess, you know, thinking out the next state at 22:22 on the counter, but he's got this iguana which keeps looking like a chameleon, and in the background it looks like the depiction from this deck of the prison card. I think that he's got prison on his mind and his mind's on prison. And this chess game, I think he knows he already won. That's why he's sitting there like this. He's isolated and alone and stuck in his anxiety. I think that he's trying real hard to press his confidence, but his charisma keeps going down, down, down. His party knew he didn't have what it took to win. And as a narcissist, he just won by cheating. And I think it's destroying him. And so I think we're going to see more antics as I feel Trump is potentially losing his mind, and his party, the people that are actually behind him, are really hoping that they can just get him into office before they push him to the side and pull out the agenda and put somebody else in the lead. So what do we have here? We have a long way, work occupation. There's a long way to go here for sure. There's that. But I think that there's also this indication of him coming to this crossroads. I think that I feel that he's taken bribes. Many do. I feel that we've already seen evidence that his family has taken money from Iran. We've seen that Putin has interfered on many levels and has stayed in contact with both Elon and Trump. And that Trump Elon was the one that was the software bringer, the savior that provided these particular internet data rendering results, voting machines in the 7 swing states specifically, and that there's so much. I don't want to get into the details. I think that because of taking that money, I think that there are demands being made of him now. Trump that is. And I think that he's understanding that he's pretty much signed away his own personal will to something bigger than he even anticipated. Here we have main person. I think that this is talking about Kamala now. Where do we have Kamala? Let's see, what is she up to right now? She's got a bird in the hand. Yeah, what is going on with this individual here? This is what was on the bottom of the deck just now when I peeked at it, and it remains. Oh, I'm running out of battery here. One moment, folks. All right, we're plugged in. Had to run to the house. So yeah, I think we're going to see some type of information here coming through, some assistance, some of this Mount Shasta energy. Do you see how those awkward bends and things here, those ley lines? I think that this is that ley line here coming in and informing her intuitively here at first, other people feeding her information. I think that this is talking about the satellite communications between those voting machines and the apparent results. I think that some of us are going to be hearing, I think what I'm hearing here is that there were checks and balances and that there's been something being already looked at. I mean, just think about the information that the public has. Do you think the FBI knows less than the public? I mean, this would be unrealistic. So I think that she knows something else and that they were watching something in real time. I think that's why she did not speak out that night, because they've got to be real careful with how they do this, because otherwise you're going to get a big slew of riots and so on. We've already seen this. Here we have prison popping out. What did we say? And I think that they know it. Oh, and look at this on the bottom of the deck. The African American appearing, possibly African Indian mermaid on the bottom. Flipping in the deck, we've got false person with great happiness here. So I think that perhaps this is talking about Melania and Harris and others. I think that because, I mean, there's the potential that Melania was planted there for a while, but we'll have to see. I mean, under the deck, we do have grief and adversity here with a male holding his head, drinking himself. I think that's somebody else. I think it's that guy they caught with cyber interference already. Yeah, look at this. Okay, the guy with the computer being lifted up. He's got his files, his computer database that he doesn't want to relinquish to the big strong arm, the long arm of the law. Yeah, the computer guy, who, I don't remember his name. Who's this mega computer hacker that's been being looked at by the investigation team? Grief and adversity. Yep, that's the card I just saw, and I thought it was him, and there it is. Yeah, he knows he's being investigated, and he's left some type of I'd say paper trail, but I think it's this entangled satellite codes. The codes are something still on the computer, on the laptop, perhaps. It's like a CPU. Good gentleman. Yeah, I think this is somebody that we're going to start to see. I don't know who this is. He's been appearing recently. He's one of the investigators looking into perhaps this computer thing, and he's going to gain a lot of recognition through his handling of this investigation. And I think that we don't know him on the mass level yet. So we'll stay tuned for who's the head investigator or the one that's going to be standing out. You'll know him when you see him. Yeah, here we have this journey card. Once again, somebody's trying to move out of the country here. Perhaps, how's Australia fit into this? I know that Elon is Australian, but I was just thinking about how Australia is an island. Anyways, there's been some meetings behind the scenes here that are being called into question as well. And the journey card popped out with this space cowgirl. So, I mean, some of these cards in this one weird deck, you'll see she's got this little thong thing on. If it offends, I apologize to those, but it's called Space Cowgirl. And I'll just cover it up for those that are not cool with that. Look at how she's lassoed this individual and bringing them to heel. I feel like that's the great sphinx that she is wrangling and bringing to bay. And she knows exactly what she's doing. So what else? Angel. Which one's Angel? Oh, I love this one. Look at this. So here we have, okay, yeah, it's a blonde male, but I don't think it represents Trump. There's a big blue wave coming, and this individual, to me, always reminds me of Archangel Michael trying to carry folks to safety. But the fact that it's two males in this case almost looks like they're being, I mean, yeah, some are being protected, sure, but it kind of looks like these guys are fearful of the great big angel, and that this is the angel of karma coming through and making sure these two don't get um, given different justice than they are entitled to. So here we have this dark, divine, feminine woman walking with these very crazy images in the background. I think that she's kind of the guardian of those forces. And it's like kind of like we can do this the easy way or the hard way. You can turn yourself in, main person, or we could, you know, make a big spectacle of it. Living room. Yeah, let's see. Okay, anything else here? We've got good gentleman coming out again, that investigator, and look at that. I do think that's I think that this is like is it the computer guy? I mean, it very well could be, right? But I think that he's going to expose the plot in a different way. And I think that somebody higher up than that, because this Frankenstein depiction talks about that he was created by a mad scientist. So somebody else is pulling the strings, which is why there's always the need for quiet and silence while they investigate, because otherwise then the information gets leaked to the bad guys, and they run away scot-free and they don't get prosecuted. This guy's doing a very thorough job of finding out who the mad scientist is.